Brought to you by Penguin.
Bombshell by Alison Hammond. Read by Soroka Davies.
Chapter 1. Glancing round the rink, Madison decided there must be something wrong with her skates. The white surface of the ice glowed prettily under the golden fairy lights, all strung up by the beautiful Victorian bandstand in London's Hyde Park. You couldn't have wished for a more Christmassy scene, thought Madison, as she looked at the skaters, bundled up in their winter clothes, smiles on their faces, breath misting in the cold air as festive tunes blared out. Beyond the rink, there were food stalls, fairground rides, and a selection of stands selling Christmas gifts that they'd promised the kids they'd return to later. It was perfect. Exactly the fun she'd wanted to kick off the month of December. However, there was one problem. Her skates. There had to be something wrong with them. Yes, they had been hired from exactly the same not very helpful assistant who had fitted out her husband, Rich, and the kids, Chloe and Jordan. But while the three of them had taken to the ice with a few initial wobbles until they found their feet, Madison had been on her bum more times than she cared to count. Rich glided up to her and came to a sharp stop, his skates making a scraping sound on the ice. "You know you're meant to let go of the wall, babe," he said. And before she had time to get annoyed, he flashed her the $1,000,000 smile that still made her heart melt, and saw him adored by fans of the TV show he presented, Housemates. "I quite like the wall, thank you very much," Madison said primly, tightening her grip with both hands and attempting to edge along just an inch or two. Oh, God. She could feel the skates moving with a life of their own. She tensed, and then somehow they were whizzing out from underneath her, and, yes, she was down again, landing in the meltwater that was pooling by the side of the rink. That wasn't normal. Maybe one of the blades was adrift. Father Christmas' sake! She caught herself as Chloe, age 6, came into view looking like Bambi on ice, but somehow staying on her feet. "Mum," called Chloe, "come and skate with me." "In a minute, darling," said Madison, beaming at her daughter and trying to get up in a dignified fashion. "Mum's still getting the hang of this." "But we've only got half the time left," said Chloe, with a little frown. Madison was caught between relief and disappointment. She'd had a vision of the four of them swooshing effortlessly round the rink, holding hands, discovering that, at 40 years old, she was unbelievably talented at ice skating, having never tried it before. She shut her eyes briefly and tried to channel the vision of herself she'd had on the way here, skating backwards on the ice, throwing in the occasional pirouette or casual jump for good measure. But water from her latest fall had seeped into the seat of her jeans. A soggy bottom was not part of the vision. It was time for action. "There's something wrong with Mummy's skates," Madison said decisively. "I'm going to try to change them. Can you skate with your brother for a bit?" "He's going really fast," said Chloe. They looked out and saw Jordan weaving in and out of the crowds, moving to the beat of the music. Madison felt a burst of love for her two kids. She was so proud of them. "Well, you can go really fast too, I'm sure," Madison said encouragingly. "If you want. Girls can do anything boys can, right?" Madison wondered if she saw the flicker of a smile on her daughter's face. She wished she could provide a more direct example of that at this precise moment, especially as Rich had taken up his effortless swooshing round the rink again and looked like a film star. She clocked one or two women giving him an admiring glance as he passed them. She guessed she'd have to get used to that, especially if his career took off as they were hoping. He'd been talking about having his own show for years, and now it might finally be a possibility. Chloe waved at him, and as he caught sight of his daughter, his face lit up. He skated over and held out his hands to them both. Madison appreciated the offer, but shook her head. "Come and skate with your dad," he said to Chloe, who beamed. Madison watched them moving together on the ice, blending in with the other skaters. "Right then," she muttered, beginning to make her way back to the end.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?